Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here, Midwest Market Management. Got Riley Sykart on with me here today. It is Thursday, November 20th. Boy, we're really getting towards the critical time period of the growing season for some South America weather, Riley. Yeah, obviously it's a very large continent, so we're at very different phases. But as we start to ease into the end of the month here and start thinking about rolling the calendar into December time period, weather gets to be very, very critical and takes on a little bit different stance. And, from what I can see, looking at the maps, we're still in pretty darn good shape moving forwards with the biggest gripes that I hear from a weather standpoint in South America is too much rain. That would probably be your biggest thing that you could pick on here. So we do have some maps here together that we're going to jump in and show you. I want to, on a program note, that Marcus Weather Group provides our mapping systems, and they've shifted to a new platform. So we're going to be a little bit of a new view here today. We're excited about the changes, but like everything else, Riley, with change comes a little bit of a learning curve and an adaptiveness. So the color coding on this can be very different than what you've seen in the past. So we're going to try to walk you through that.
Yep. I'm still trying to get everything exactly how I want it, and I can't tell you I'm there yet. It's still a process for me. So with that said, hop into the maps. First thing, going back to when we first started doing these, first thing I want to do is put in perspective how big of an area we're looking at. Brazil, going anywhere from Mato Grosso and the Tocantins all the way down through into Cordoba and central Argentina. You take this little province of Mato Grosso and you put that on a U.S. map. Well, it's a lot of area we're covering, guys. So not one to just gloss over. So moving into the actual maps here, here's the first one that if the color culture shock gets you too bad, I apologize. I'm learning new things here. So first thing we're looking at, 1 to 5 day temperatures in Brazil. You can still see our outlines, Mato Grosso. We mentioned they were supposed to cool down a little bit this week, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening. Temperatures in the 80s to Mato Grosso do Sul in the 90s. So definitely not anything that is market friendly. So looks pretty good and exactly what guys want. Especially Clint, you mentioned December is a critical time period for Brazil. It's especially true here. In the further north you go, the truer that is. Because you got to remember they're in the southern hemisphere, so it's polar opposite. They're warmer to the north, and their crops are further along to the north than they are the south.
Sure.
So switching gears here, 1 to 5 day in Argentina. Some spots with some pretty advanced heat in the 90s, but overall, not anything really critical. 80s and 90s, some areas in the 70s here in southern Brazil as well. Not anything to be upset about on the temperature side, which has been a trend that's been with us here for a while. Looking at the last 2 weeks of rainfall, not anything new here. There was rains over the weekend that we saw on Tuesday's maps. Other than that, not really anything new here. Same thing with Argentina. That eastern chunk of the country is wetter, but as a whole, not huge issues. This chunk of Brazil, some of Paraguay and Argentina, this has been some of the area where if you read enough reports, there are some talks of some areas that have flooding, but it doesn't sound like it's a widespread issue. And for the most part, it's exactly what a large majority of farmers want. So everywhere where it's flooding, there's just as many farmers getting rains that they need and are beneficial. So moving ahead here, 1 to 5 day rain. To me, I just out of the top of my head, when I think blue, I think wet. I need to switch my head. It's polar opposite now, guys. Blue, not much in the forecast for the areas that have had a little bit too much rain. So good for them. And then to the north here, Mato Grosso, Tocantins, Goiás, they're getting enough rains to keep them going. So still really no market scare, Clint. I'm just not seeing it so far. There's nothing to spook this market higher. And Argentina, where I just mentioned they're a little wet, well, they don't have much in the forecast. So that's going to be helping them out. And then pushing in the 6 to 10, a little bit of rain to keep guys going, but there's no areas where it's zero.
And the
That's what
temperatures,
we're looking
it's
for, is areas
yeah.
where there's no rain and the potential for a drought's coming in, and we're just not seeing it.
Yeah. And we got moderate temperatures.
Yes.
And
So-
by moderate, I mean ideal.
About as close as you can get. So overall, right now, South America has no weather issues, and pretty much geopolitical news is what's driving the markets, I'd say, right now, Clint.
Yeah. So, well, it's good to see. You know, it's a little bit of a fresh look here, but we'll get adjusted and see what we can tweak to try to make it a little bit more visually appealing for everybody. On a program note, we are going to be out next week. Today's Thursday. Normally, we would do Tuesday and Thursday next week. Thursday being Thanksgiving, we're going to take Tuesday off, try to regroup on the mapping system here, and get this a little bit more functionable again. So I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Maybe get out of the field, spend a little time with the family, and we'll be back in here the following week, which is already the first week of December, moving into some very important time periods. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Clint McLaughlin, Riley Sykard, Midwest Market Management. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is or is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated,